Formal dressing or office dressing boils down to a few strict but very simple to follow rules. Whether you like it or not, people's perception of you a lot of times boils down to your fashion sense, especially when we're talking about dressing for formal events. If you dress too casually, you're not going to be taken seriously. And if you dress too formally, or if you dress like any other guy in the room, you're not going to stand out. You're not going to be considered a well-dressed guy, you're not going to be noticed. And that's why I'm here to help you out today, because these are my top 5 rules for formal dressing. How to look great for Indian men who go to offices or formal events. So let's go. So while we're talking about formal dressing rules, firstly you've got to understand that there's 2 kinds of formal dressing. Traditional formal dressing, where the rules are very strict and you have to wear those kind of clothes, especially if you're going to an old school office, an office where they don't give you liberties when it comes to your fashion. Or the second kind of formal dressing is modern formal, or business casual as they call it, where you can play around with the rules just a little bit and you have more options to play around with. But what are these rules when we're talking about shirts? That brings us to tip number 1 when it comes to dressing great from a formal office perspective. If your office is super old school and you have to follow the traditional rules, this is what you need to follow. Colors, only white, shades of pink or shades of blue. In all 3 cases, you have to wear lighter shades of colors because office is a very daytime situation. For daytime situations, you wear lighter colors. For nighttime situations, you wear darker colors. Also, the other tip you've got to keep in mind when it comes to office dressing is that you cannot wear half-sleeve shirts, you can't wear anything with too loud a pattern, and you can't wear colors that are super saturated, where the intensity of the color is very high. In old school formal dressing, everything is very subtle, very sober. But let's talk a little bit about modern formal dressing. If you're talking about patterns, you can't really wear very loud patterns, but what you can wear is very subtle patterns, like in this case. Basically, you don't want to wear something too eye-catching. And as for color, once again, give priority to lighter shades. But once in a while, when it comes to business casual, you can wear a few darker shades of shirts. Maybe black, navy blue, brown, shades of grey. All of these count as modern formal shirts. But very importantly, you've got to keep in mind that these kind of rules mostly apply to new age offices, or if you're going for some kind of a formal party. These are very modern formal rules that may not apply to your office. So only follow the modern formal rules if your office or your formal environment allows it. And this is also where we can move on to tip number 2. Rule number 2, we're talking about pants. Once again, the ground rules are that you have to be very strict with your color selection. We're talking black, charcoal grey, navy blue, and some shades of brown, like super light tan that you can wear maybe with white or blue shirts. Also keep in mind, there's 2 kinds of formal pants. Firstly, traditional formal pants like this, as they call it, suit pants or trousers in India. These are super formal looking. You can get away with wearing these in absolutely any office. Also keep in mind, as you can see in this case, always get your pants tailored to be tapered towards the base. The base of your formal pants should always be slightly more sleek, slightly more thin, and give you that overall slightly leaner feel. It makes you look much sharper from a fashion perspective. But personally, if you ask me, when it comes to formal pants, I prefer chinos. Chinos are a cross between jeans and these formal suit pants, as we call them. They're slightly casual looking cotton pants that are tight around your thigh. Now you do get a lot of colors when it comes to chinos, but once again, when it comes to the colors, stick to the colors that I spoke about. The other very important formal dressing rule is that if you're wearing any formal outfit, the shade of your pants has to be darker than that of your shirt. You shouldn't draw too much attention to your legs. Most of the attention should go towards your upper body. Tip number 3, we're talking about belts. Some very simple rules. Firstly, no cotton belts. Secondly, always match the color of your belt to the color of your shoes. It doesn't have to be the exact same color, but it has to be a similar color. So you can wear light brown shoes with a dark brown belt. And as for the kind of belt you should be going for, always go for a leather belt or a faux leather or fake leather belt. It should kind of give that leathery feel. The 2 colors you want to give priority to are black and dark brown. Very versatile, very stylish. And the 4th point is my favorite topic in the world. We're talking about footwear. When it comes to formal footwear, a few ground rules. Firstly, you got to match the color of your socks to that of your pants. And secondly, if you're talking about dressing traditionally formal, the color of your shoes has to be either the same shade as that of your pants or one shade darker. And if we're talking about modern formal shoes, my top 3 picks are Brogues firstly, which are these formal shoes with that slight pattern at the top. Secondly, one of my favorite modern formal options is this monk strap shoe. A slightly feminine looking shoe with these buckles. Very, very elegant if you pair it up with the correct formal outfit. And the third option is a very smart pair of dark colored loafers that you can wear for both parties as well as your office. Keep in mind that these are my picks when it comes to formal footwear. They are slightly on the expensive side because I believe that when you're going for formal footwear, you should buy once, you should buy slightly more on the expensive side, buy high quality shoes and let them last forever. Take care of them and make sure that they're well polished at all times. And the fifth and final tip we got to talk about is wristwatches. It's an essential for formal dressing. No formal outfit is going to be complete without a wristwatch. The watch that I prefer when it comes to formal dressing is always a good quality metallic watch like this one. It's kind of a power symbol, especially when you go in for meetings or super formal events. It also counts as traditional formal dressing. But while we're talking about slightly more modern formal dressing, you can afford to wear slightly leathery looking straps when it comes to watches. You can wear slightly thinner dials. Just remember, the ground rule when it comes to formal watches is that you can't wear digital watches, you can't wear very, very thick and big and eye-catching dials, and you can't wear a watch where the strap has patterns like in this case. Either way guys, that covers almost every single aspect of formal dressing. If you follow these tips, you'll be the best dressed guy at your office or at that formal party. The only 2 aspects of formal dressing that I haven't covered in today's video are the suits or blazers aspect, which I'm gonna talk about in a whole video of their own. And I've not spoken about ties because I feel like you can't really pull off ties without wearing a smart jacket or a smart blazer on top. Either way, if you guys want to know what video to watch next, I highly recommend you go and check out my honest brand recommendations video. It'll help you build your formal wardrobe much better. The other video I highly recommend you watch is the video on perfume science. Go check it out. As always, give a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to Beer Biceps, and until next time guys, from Ranveer and the team, we'll see you later.